kindergartners. This is Tuesday's shared writing. So we are going to start off by reviewing what good writers put in their writing. So I hope you can remember this at home. Oops, sorry about that. So that's why we're going to review. So the first thing is we always begin our sentence with an uppercase letter. So the first letter of the first word always has to be uppercase when you go to write a sentence. The second thing good writers remember to put in their writing is, say it at home if you know it, putting spaces in between their words. So I've been using my finger to show you, called finger spaces. So we have to put spaces in between our words, otherwise we're not going to be able to read it because all the words are going to be super close to each other. And then the third thing that good writers put in their writing is punctuation at the end of the sentence. So the punctuation mark that we have learned so far is called a polka dot period. So when we're done writing a sentence, we have to put that polka dot period at the end because that is letting our reader know that our sentence is done. Okay? So those three things, and we reviewed those yesterday, so I wanted to make sure that I started off our video with reminding you again about those. So yesterday we talked about the poem Mary Had a Little Lamb, and I wrote a sentence showing you my writing of what I liked best about Mary Had a Little Lamb. And the part that I liked best was that Mary Had a Little Lamb rhymes. There's a lot of rhyming words in there. So today, you probably have noticed that my paper looks different, and I have the title of the poem at the top. So Mary had a little lamb, just to help us remember what we're writing about. And then today, we're going to write some sentences, and we're going to kind of tell the poem in our own words. So we're going to say what happened. So first, I'm going to write a sentence about what happened first. Next, so what happened after that? Then, so I'm going to write what happened after what I just wrote about. And then last, so what is the very last thing that happens in Mary Had a Little Lamb? So I hope you can remember what happened in Mary Had a Little Lamb. So maybe I should read that first. I can just read it real quick. It's not a very long poem, so let me flip back in my book and I'm going to read it out loud just to help us remember. And in case you haven't watched Mr. Miller's reading of it yet, okay? Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow. And everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. It followed her to school one day. That was against the rules. It made the children laugh and play to see a lamb at school. So I hope you heard those rhyming words. I sure did. Okay, so just a little reminder of what that poem is about. So first, what can we say first that happened? Well, first, Mary had a little lamb. So I'm going to write that. First, here's my finger space, Mary. What do you hear at the beginning of the word Mary? Uppercase M. And we have to make it uppercase because it's someone's name. So even though it's not the first word in my sentence, it's the second, but it's a name. So I have to make it uppercase no matter where her name is in the sentence. So first, Mary had, see how I'm using my finger to do those finger spaces? A little Oh, and I ran out of room. So remember, once I get to the end of my line, I'm just going to finger sweep back to the left of my paper, right underneath where I started. Little lamb. First, Mary had a little lamb. All right, my sentence is done. What do I need to put at the end? Polka dot period. There we go. Okay, so I want you to think, what happened next? And since no one is in front of me to call on, what do we think? What can I say? I already know what I'm going to say, so I'm hoping. So at home, maybe you could say to yourself what you think happened next. You could do that. Next, the lamb followed Mary everywhere. Everywhere she went, the lamb followed her. So I'm going to write that. And I already have the word next, so I'm going to put a finger space for my next word. Next, the lamb finger space followed finger space Mary, so uppercase because it's a name. All right, I ran out of room because I still have another word to write, so I'm going to finger sweep back to the left, right underneath my top sentence. Everywhere. So that lamb followed Mary everywhere. So let me go back and read it. Next, the lamb followed Mary everywhere. That's a big word, isn't it? So if my sentence is done, I'm going to put that polka dot period at the end. So we have, first Mary had a little lamb. Next, the lamb followed Mary everywhere. Then, what happened after the lamb keeps following her? So how about you say it at home to yourself? What should I write? Then, the lamb followed her to school one day, didn't it? Then, finger space, the lamb followed finger space her. All right, so I'm going to finger sweep back to the left to finger space school one day. I don't think she probably should have done that. So here's my sentence. Then the lamb followed her to school one day. And I'm all done, so I'm going to put a polka dot period. Okay, so what is the last thing that happened? What happened at the very end? She took the lamb to school. It was against the rule. Go ahead and say it to yourself at home. Last, didn't the kids laugh? Yeah, last, the kids laughed. They thought it was funny. So last, finger space, the, finger space, kids, finger space, laughed. And that sentence wasn't as long as my other one, so it stops right here. So I'm all finished. I'm going to put my polka dot period. All right. Let's go back and read everything we wrote. So what we just did was we just wrote what Mary Had a Little Lamb was about, but we used our own words. So we didn't write it, we didn't say it in the poem format, we just said what happened in our own words. So first, Mary had a little lamb. Next, the lamb followed Mary everywhere. Then the lamb followed her to school one day. Last, the kids laughed. I'm sure I would laugh too. That would probably be kind of funny if a lamb came to school with you, but all right, so the next time that we have shared writing, you are going to be in your own classroom. So your own teacher will be showing them your writing. And if you're in my class, you've already kind of seen my writing, so you'll just see more of it when we come back in person. So thanks for watching. Bye.